In this video, I'll be giving you some tips which you need to use to impress your recruiter or to impress your interviewer for your next dream job. So watch this video to the end and gain some of the experience in getting yourself out of the frustration which you might be now in after applying for several roles. The very first one is, when going for the interview, research about the company. So many people have already given up researching about companies. All they do is they go on LinkedIn, they see a role they're interested, they apply. Once the recruiter reaches out to them, they pick up a phone call, they start talking, and they've not had some time to research about these companies. What is this company doing? What are the key responsibilities or what are the key services which this company is offering? How can I be of value to this company? Putting aside DevOps. Now, once you have this understanding of what the company is doing, it can help shape the way you are preparing for that interview. Before you're going in for these interviews, make sure you research about the company. Know what their mission is, know what their vision is, especially as far as their technology stack is concerned. What is this company looking out to get from the individual? Read your job description detailedly and have a lot of information about your company before you go in for these roles. Once you have a lot of information about your company, you'll definitely be presenting some of the things which they need or the things which they want to hear from you as a potential employee for them. So research about these companies, have an idea of what they are doing before you go in for the interview with their hiring managers or with their recruiting team. Secondly, I would recommend you practicing a lot of interviews. Taking of interview is a whole skill on its own, and you need to practice. Same as you took some time to learn DevOps, to learn cloud computing, you need to take some time and invest in learning these interview skills. So practice as many interview scenarios as possible, answer behavioral questions, answer questions related to technologies, answer questions related to your day-to-day activities. Practice as many interview questions as possible. That is what you need to be more focused or to have more insight as far as the DevOps job search process is concerned. Because if you cannot practice some of these interviews, you go in there and they ask you one and the same question which they've been asking you maybe for the past 10 interviews, and you still cannot give the response which the recruiter wants to hear. So take out time. You just take some time to practice some interview questions that might fit some of the skills required or listed in the job description. Practice as many interviews as possible and get yourself upskilled for that next role. Another mistake which a lot of people make is they do not take time to explain their experience with these skills. They do not take time to express their experience with these technologies. Talk about your experience with these technologies. Tell the recruiter how you've set up a Kubernetes cluster. Explain what a Kubernetes cluster is to a recruiter. Name Kubernetes objects, namespace, Kubernetes pods, Kubernetes deployment, Kubernetes service. Explain this concept, how you've been able to set up a service to expose your applications to this, how you've been able to set up a deployment to manage pods. Explain how you've written Terraform scripts to automate the creation of resources on your environment. Take out time to detailedly explain your experience. Don't just give surface explanation about your understanding of certain things, or don't just give surface explanations about your experience with certain tools. Someone will say, I've used Terraform for infrastructure as code in my past experience. And so what? Give more details on how you've made use of these skills. Give examples on how you've modularized Terraform across different environments. Share your experience in the production environment using Terraform. Share your experience with infrastructure as code, maybe with CloudFormation. How you've written complex CloudFormation templates. Give out your experience with these skills. This is what the recruiters need to make their decision. If you're working maybe in a banking application or in a flight attendant application, whatever application you're working on, explain detailedly what you were able to do. And in explaining what you're able to do, one of the mistakes people also make during the interview is they do not use personal pronouns. The recruiter is interested in what you as an individual have done or what you as an individual has contributed in the company or in your past team. So when you're going into the interview, focus more on the things which you have done, the things which I always tell people, use personal pronouns. I have been able to say this. I was responsible for this. I did this in an environment. I optimized this. I kept this security posture. I wrote this documentation. Give out the things which you have done. Use personal pronouns to demonstrate your experience with these skill sets, because the recruiters are looking out for people who have the ability to lead, and leading definitely means you can lead under someone or you can be lead, and that is one of the things which I always recommend, to be able to take initiatives when working in your role, and that is what will give you the opportunity to demonstrate your experience and your ability to coordinate projects, which is what a lot of recruiters are looking out for. With a rapidly evolving cloud space, you cannot feel comfortable learning just one cloud stack and remain there. When you go for the interview, demonstrate your experience with maybe Microsoft Azure or your experience with Amazon Web Service or with Google Cloud, and then demonstrate your experience with other services. Once you've learned a given cloud stack and you're comfortable with that cloud stack, spend some little time researching about the other stacks. You know Amazon Web Service so well. How do we do load balancing on Azure Cloud? What are the compute resources on Azure Cloud which Amazon Web Service has? What are the database offerings on Azure Cloud which Amazon Web Service has? Amazon Web Service has Secrets Manager to manage secrets. Microsoft Azure has Azure Key Vault. What are the differences between both of them? Have those interesting investigations and understand how both cloud technologies work. And when going now for your interview, you don't want to focus on just a single cloud technology, because a lot of companies now are going on with multi-cloud deployment. And with this multi-cloud deployment, it definitely means that they need people who have experience with these different tools. Spend some time to learn about another cloud stack in case you are so comfortable with one, and then when you're going in for your interview, demonstrate your experience with your cloud technologies. And of course, when you're talking about cloud technologies, you express your experience with storage, with networking, with compute, databases. In fact, we have done several videos in our channel. You can check the channel. We have a whole playlist on key AWS services which you must know before going for your interview. You want to watch out those videos and know how to explain your experience. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button right away and get subscribed. Now, the next thing you want to highlight is demonstrate your problem solving skills and your collaboration skills. It's very important. Most people just go into the interviews and they're talking about my experience with Terraform, my experience with Jenkins, my experience with CI/CD, and a lot more. Those are important in your interviews, but it's also very important for you to demonstrate your problem solving skills and your collaboration skills. Demonstrate how you're able to work maybe as a lead in a particular project, or as a junior, or maybe assisting another lead in a particular project. Demonstrate how you're collaborating with your team, and equally demonstrate your problem solving and problem analytical experience. Perhaps you've not worked in an environment before and you want to see demonstrate it. There are many ways which you can do. In the course of you understanding cloud computing technologies, there were some bottlenecks which you had, and you were able to, maybe using documentations, you were able to solve some of these bottlenecks. You want to use some of those things as problem solving skills during your interviews. So take time to demonstrate how you've encountered a problem, be it on the Amazon Web Service CLI, be it on the console, or be it in a containerized environment. Demonstrate how you were able to encounter some problems and how you solve some of those problems, because that's what will make you more of a potential candidate over another person, because the other person might just be talking about tech skills, but you bring in the problem solving and the collaboration skills which some companies are looking out for. The last thing which I'll highlight is do well to follow up after the interviews. After the interviews, you might want to take a day or two to reach out to the recruiters. Probably if they don't give you feedback, reach out to them and find out what are the next steps in the interviewing process, or what was the feedback after the interview which you had with them. So don't relent your efforts. Technically reach out to recruiters, find out from them what is the next step, how did I perform, should I continue expecting feedback from this company, or should I go on looking for other roles. So do well to reach out to some of the recruiters after your interview with them, and then, like we've mentioned in the videos, keep getting more applications out there. Keep on networking. Those are some tips which I believe if you implement, you'll be able to nail your next interview as far as the DevOps or cloud computing is concerned.